Hi, it's Mona McClellan, and you typed in how to do an at-home perm. Wow, that's such a loaded question. I'm not going to do a demonstration for you. I'm sure you can find another one of those on the internet, but I'm going to give you some advice about doing an at-home perm. I was a hairdresser in the beauty industry for almost 3 decades, but before that, I used to ask my mom to perm my hair. Now, this is what most people think happens, and I'm going to tell you what really happens when you get a perm. So when I would get my mom to perm my hair, she would get a box. I don't know what they call them now, but when we were little, they were called Tonys. The brand was Tony. And there'd be a lot of little plastic curlers in there, skinny ones, about like this. And I used to have long hair, well, maybe not this long, but pretty long when I was younger. My mom would take a strand of hair and she'd start at the bottom. You always want to put, your hair has to be sectioned properly. You always do down the middle and then from your ears forward. And you've got a couple of sections happening. Somebody will show you online how to section your hair. But she'd take this little rod and she'd put the end paper on, because you put a white piece of paper on there. That's in order to keep the ends all nice and flat when you put them around the roller. And then you'd start, winding it up on the roller, on the skinny little roller. And by the time you got up to the top of your head, it was fat, because you have all this hair. Well, when you finish developing it and you rinse out the neutralizer and you take out the curlers, you have these big curls and all of a sudden squiggle, 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 because the rods were too small for that kind of a wave, right? And the perm kind of makes you believe that it's the size of the rod that makes the perm happen, and the wave solution, which makes the perm happen. But what really makes the perm happen is the neutralizer, because the neutralizer re-hardens the hair. And for every minute you leave it on past how long it says, like it might say leave the neutralizer on 5 minutes. Well, if you leave it on 6 minutes or 7 minutes, you're leaving it on exponentially longer. That chemical is hardening the hair and hardening the hair. So if you never put neutralizer on your hair, your waves would never stay in. That step is really important. The perm solution is actually breaking down the bonds inside the hair to repattern them around that curl. And then when you rinse off the wave solution and you put the neutralizer on, the neutralizer is like speeding up 24 hours into 5 minutes. If you actually sat with those perm rods in your hair after you've rinsed off the wave solution and you sat there for an hour, or for an hour, I should say, for 24 hours, you went home, slept in them, came back, 24 hours, your hair would be neutralized and those curls would be formed. Okay, so yes, you can do a perm yourself if you want to. Get some help with it because it's hard. The most important thing is getting those ends in the paper and making sure they're flat when they go around the rod. If you want big sort of wavy curls like this, you're going to use a rod that's about that big. And what's even better is if you actually can take the piece of hair that you're winding and wind the perm rod in this way, so it stacks this way, as opposed to taking all this up so you've got a skinny piece at the bottom and it gets really fat as you go up. It just works more. So it's best to get a professional to do it. I do know how expensive it is to get your hair done in a hair salon. Believe me, I charged a lot of money. But I am retired now. I just still do my own hair. So, and part of it is because I don't want to go pay those prices and I know how to do it. So I want to show you a way that you can make that money so you can pay for these hair services. And since I'm retired, I had to find another way to serve online. And I found a group of friends who are working on the internet, and what we're doing is really cool and we're having a lot of success with it. So if you're curious at all and want to see what we're doing, just go to my website, here'sanotherway.com. The link is down below. And there you'll find a couple of things, what we're doing and all about it. And you'll hear some information from folks that we've helped. So I hope you found this helpful. I know I've just sort of given you an overview of how to perm your hair. And if you're going to perm your hair, get some help. I wish you all the best with that.